Estimate cost. The main goal of the estimate cost process is to estimate how much each activity will cost. As you can see, our mission is estimating how much each activity will cost based on the schedule. So in order to carry this out, you need your project schedule. But remember, there's a lot of give and take. There's a lot of push and pull when it comes to these processes. Estimate costs and estimate activity resources and developing the schedule. All of these are done in an iterative fashion. The inputs to estimate cost, the cost management plan, human resource management plan, because you need to know how much those human resources will cost, the scope baseline, which gives you the entire scope of the project. Remember, your scope baseline has those three recurring things. Do you recall what we talked about previously? Are you still there? Do you recall what's in the scope baseline? There's three things. One, yes, WBS dictionary. And which one do you get from defined scope? The project scope statement. Those three are in there. Don't forget that. You've got your project schedule, your risk register, because risks, sometimes when you manage risks, you spend money, don't you? EEFs and OPAs, those are the inputs. So anything that could affect the cost of activities we have as inputs, those things for consideration. Now we've got a laundry list of tools and techniques. We'll go through them really quickly. This process is rather unique because it's only in this process, estimate costs, that we have the 4 estimating types in project management. So we've got expert judgment. Of course, you need expertise to estimate how much activities will cost. And that expertise, that subject matter expertise, could come from anywhere in the organization or outside the organization. But the 4 estimating approaches, analogous, using an analogy from a previous project to estimate a task on a current project, parametric estimating, using historical information and a statistical relationship between certain variables, bottom-up estimating, breaking down a task into even lower level subtasks and rolling the estimates, the cost estimates, up to a final total. That's what bottom-up estimating is. 3-point estimating, you've got 2 types. You've got beta, and then you've got the triangular. The triangular is P plus M plus O divided by 3, but in the case of the beta, it's slanted more to the side of the most likely. So you've got P plus 4M plus O divided by 6. Think about 4 MOPS divided by 6. Reserve analysis considers reserves in the task estimates to make sure we've got enough reserves in there. Cost of quality, COQ, that comes up in Chapter 8. But you want to consider the cost of implementing high quality or required quality on your project. So we've got the cost of conformance and the cost of non-conformance to consider. Project management software, any software used to estimate cost, be it spreadsheets or software like Primavera and MS Project. Vendor bid analysis. A vendor bid analysis takes a look at vendor bids to ensure that they align with our expectations for how much an activity will cost. And lastly, group decision-making techniques. Remember, we've got those 4. We've got plurality, unanimity, dictatorship, those 4, majority. Those 4, make sure you go through them. We talked about that in cost. We talked about that in scope management. So those are the tools and techniques. The outputs, we've got our activity cost estimates, the actual estimates. Remember, these are estimates for the activities. We will still need to roll all of those activity costs up to a higher level. We've got basis of estimates. So as we come out with our estimates, we need to have some facts as to how or why we came up with the estimates we did. And lastly, we've got project documents updates. Any of these documents could be updated as a result of the estimate cost process. So we've got quite a lot to talk about. Let's get started.